Hello, this is Betty Shan, and I wanted to get on here today, and I'm glad everybody that's listening is listening, and I hope everybody's having a blessed day. Uh, I got up, or yesterday evening, my daughter told me, said, Mama, we've got this ham in the freezer. Said, I'm going to get it out, and I said, okay, we'll fix a ham tomorrow then. And what I've done, I'm going to bake this ham and let you see how I bake it. I think I found an easier way to do it. I used to put them in the pots and put them in the oven, and it would take forever for them to get done, and then I overcooked them. I'm real bad about overcooking a ham. But if you'll read on the label of your ham, it will usually say, most of the time, I've never seen it when it didn't, fully cooked. So actually all you're needing to do is heat that ham up. You're not needing to cook it like it's raw meat. It is fully cooked, and what we're doing, we're heating them up and serving them and eating them. And I have learned a way to do that I think is an easier way than most people do it. I used to have to put it in the oven, and I'd put this on it and that on it and do all kinds of things. But as you get older, I look for easier ways to cook things. And as a mother, I wished I'd have known a lot of this stuff I've learned since I've been older. But I'm going to put a ham on for you today and show you the way I do it. And it's easy. And some of you young mothers and young wives and different ones need to learn how to fix them. Now, when you get a ham, you can get it in two different ways. Usually, you can get it and you'll have a butt end and you have a shank end. Well, the shank end's got a big old bone sticking up in it. That's how you'll know it's a shank. And a lot of times it'll have heavy skin on it. Well, if you're baking it, you'll have to cut the skin off of that to put it in, like to fix it like we're doing. But I bought a butt end, and it don't have that big old bone in there. And I want to show you how I do it. And I believe that you will cook a ham more often, or you might buy you a ham and fix your first ham like this. And don't throw none of it away. Eat on it a few days, and I'll come back on and we'll go further into the ham, because we're not going to throw none of our ham away. We're going to go ahead and do other things to this ham. Now, I plan on being back on here at least within a week, and I want to show you more about what I do with my ham, because I don't throw nothing away. And the skin that you cut off the shank, my mother put it in her beans, and it made good beans. To put that piece of skin in that beans and cook it till it gets real tender, and it's good to eat. I like the skin. Well, don't you eat these chips that's made out of skin? Oh, I'm sure you do. So if you like that, you would like the skin in the beans. Well, I want to tell you, I'm going to hang up here now, and I'm going to go in the kitchen and get started with my ham. So we'll see you in a minute. Bye. Okay, we're in my kitchen, and let's see if we can get this to where you can see it. I went and got my crock pot out, my big crock pot, and here is my ham. Let me wash my hands, because if anything, people don't like it if you don't wash your hands, and I try to keep mine clean anyway. Anyway, I've got my ham, and I rinsed it off, and I got this tin foil to set it on. So I'm going to show you my beautiful little ham. And it's not a real big one, so if you get a big ham, you'll have to cook it longer. You have to judge it for yourself, and I guess that's where I get in trouble, because I'm always prone to overcook instead of undercook anything I fix. People tell me my pork chops come out dry, and sometimes, and I think, oh my, I'm trying to figure out a way to fix pork chops where I won't overcook them. That's what I'm doing. I'm overcooking my pork chops. Okay, now I've got this ham here, and I'm going to kind of put it to the side, but I'm going to get my crock pot. And I'm going to open it up. And you see my crock pot? It's just a big old crock pot. And I am going to take brown sugar. And I'm going to open this brown sugar. And I'm going to show you what I do with it. Open it up, and I'm going to take some and I'm just going to pour it in that pot. Oh, about, depends on the size of your crock pot. I'm going to take it in sections and I just poured it in there. And now I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to cover. Some of this sugar is too hard. I'm going to cover the bottom of my crock pot in sugar. And it don't have to be perfect, but I want it covered good in sugar. Now I'm going to take that big old hunk of sugar and put it over there. Okay, now I'm going to take my ham. See my ham here? And I'm going to lay it down on top of that sugar. Just lay it on top of it. The side that's sliced, I lay on the bottom. And a lot of times on this, my ham will be so big that I can't put my lid on it. But I bought the smallest ham I could find. But I put it in this way, and if it's too big, then I'll take tin foil and run over the top and fold it under where it'll steam cook. And then I let it cook that way. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you what I do now to the top of the ham. I'm just going to take this brown sugar, and if your brown sugar is probably better than mine, because mine's getting a little dry here. And I cover my ham the best I can in brown sugar. Now this is a good ham. I have made them and I've worked at it for hours and trying to make a good ham, put pineapple and all kinds of stuff on it. But this is a ham that I can use for anything I want to use it for when I get through. It'll be delicious with sliced for sandwiches. And then, like I said, I put hunks of it back for beans. And I also have a casserole I like to make out of ham. And maybe we'll get to that one day. I'm going to try to use this ham in several different meals and show you what I've done with it. And maybe that'll help you to be able to buy ham and fix 3 or 4 meals out of your ham. But, of course, that depends on how heavy eaters you have. Then I'm just going to put the lid on it, and I'm going to turn it on high and let it cook, and I'm going to check it in an hour and just see how it's doing, because I've got an awful small ham. Usually I've got one that weighs 2 or 3 more pounds than what this one does. But we're going to cook this ham, and that's just so easy. So I wanted to show my friends and our young ones that's following us how to fix a ham. Now you can fix the ham and surprise your husband, but turn it on and get it going hot. Them kids will love it too. And we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, here we are again, and I've just come into my kitchen and I'm checking my ham. Now, like I've told you, I'm prone to overcook hams because they're a big piece of meat, and you think, well, I've got to cook it for hours. But on your package, if you'll read your label, you'll see fully cooked. And all I've got to do is heat this ham real good. And you see me put the brown sugar on it. I covered the bottom of the dish, and then I put brown sugar on the top of it and turned it on high. And I think mine's just about done. Of course, I've got a small ham. And I also bought the butt portion of the ham. That gives you more meat. The shank portion has a big bone in it. And I've bought shank portions a lot of times when finances is not as good as usual, and they cost a little bit less than buying a butt end of the ham. But anyway, I do have a butt end of the ham, and if I had bought a shank portion, it's got a big old bone at the top of it, and you have to a lot of times skin it because it's got skin on it. Now, my mama used to throw that skin right in the beans, so she didn't throw away anything that come off of a ham. And we're not going to throw anything away on this ham either. I plan on coming back and giving you girls a lesson on cooking good pinto beans. Some people don't even know how to cook pinto beans. But I'm going to come back one of these days and say, well, folks, I've got my ham. We eat a meal off of it or two, and now I'm chunked it up, and I've got the bone out of the ham, and we're going to cook a big old pot of beans. But today, we're just going to have the ham. And let's take the lid off this, and you will see that it has cooked. And I'm going to try to get this to where you can see in my pot. Now, my pot is very hot, and it ain't worth burning myself, but I want you to see if I can get this to where you can see. The juices has cooked down into the ham, and there we go. And it's bubbling around the pot. And this ham is good and hot. So I'm going to take it out, if I can. May have to. Let's do it that way. And I have I've got a platter sitting here, and I put my tin foil on top of the platter because I'm going to wrap my ham up so it won't get cool before we want to eat it after a while. But I don't know what I'm going to do this with, but I want to get this ham out and let you girls see it. Not just girls, some of you guys can cook. Some of the best cooking I've ever eaten has been cooked by men. So let me see if I can grab this with this. And I ain't recommending you do this, but anyway, I want you to see my ham. And I'm going to turn it on the side. If I can get my fork out now, I'll be doing good. I have to leave my fork in there. But you'll see in the bottom of this pot, it's the brown sugar and the juices out of the ham. And a lot of people like to get this. I've had company, and they like to take a little bit of that juice out of that after they've got a slice of the ham and put it on the ham to make it better. But this now is just the butt portion, and I bought a small one. And it didn't take but a little over an hour for it to get good and hot. I don't want to overcook it, because when you overcook it, it becomes dry, and I don't want no dry ham. So I'm going to scoop this back, and I've still got my fork stuck in my meat. So I want you to see that ham, how good that looks. Now, after a while, I'll take it, and I'll just slice pieces off of this. And we're going to eat a meal off of that today. We'll probably have sandwiches off of it and everything. And then I'm going to come back one of these days, and we're going to chop up some of the meat for a casserole and put it back. And then I'm going to take part of it, and I'm going to put it in a pot of beans. And I'm going to help you girls cook one of the best pots of beans with ham. Ham and beans. That sounded better to me than eating the ham today. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this ham up a little bit. I'm going to try to scoot it forward a little bit. And I'm going to kind of wrap it in tin foil so it won't get too cool while I'm getting the rest of my dinner ready. I didn't want to go into everything with you, but anyway, you can fix what you want to go with your ham now. Let's see, macaroni and cheese, a salad, and what I like is black-eyed peas, a slice of cornbread, and ham. And that sounds like a good meal to me. And maybe a baked sweet potato or a sweet potato casserole. There's any numbers. Just go wild with it. Think of something your family likes and fix it to go with your ham. And after a while, I will slice this thing up, and we're going to eat it with a meal. But today we're just eating a meal. Later we're going to do other things with it. Now when this gets cold and everything, I'll probably chop it up and I'll have pieces of it that I will use for casseroles. I've got a casserole I want to teach you girls, so be sure and save about 2 cups of ham off your ham. And we'll have a ham casserole off of this, and I'm going to have pinto beans off of this. So there's any number of things you can do with the ham. Don't throw any of it away. You can eat it all, even the boiling the bones. You have a blessed day. Keep your chin up. Do your best to live for the Lord, and we'll see you again in a few days. Bye.